Welcome, friends, to another episode of Hot Takes Cold Brew. I'm your host, Garie, and I'm here with my wonderful, super chill co-host, Danielle. Danielle, say hi.
Hello.
For this episode, we read Carl's Doomsday Scenario by Matt Dinniman. We read the second book. We did it. We are on this series train, and we have some takes. But first, we're going to start off with a bit of a summary. Danielle, could you please tell our audience what this book is about?
Yes. So we are picking up right where we left off from book one. We have Carl, Donut, and Mongo, our pet that we got at the end of the first book, and they are on the third floor of the dungeon. Now this is a little bit different because now we're in what's called the Overcity. So much more of an open world. They've got a fake sky overhead. So just a different environment here. And this book introduces side quests. So that's a fun way to break up the monotony of fighting meth head llamas all day. And so it's kind of exciting to see how the characters move through these quests. And we also get to see Mongo grow. So that's also an exciting development. So
Very wholesome.
I think the book ends with us getting to floor 4. So that'll be the next book.
Do you want to go first about like initial thoughts and stuff like that, or?
Sure. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I like this book a lot. I thought it was a nice change of pace from the first book. You know, we've got quests now. We've got this the Overcity, where it's more of an open world. You know, we're not just running through the hallways here. And I think it's just added a lot of layers, a lot of lore here. Our friend Mordecai is like a new being. That was funny.
Yeah.
Mongo. I love Mongo. I think he's like one of my favorite characters. Like I love that he's just
growing and evolving.
Growing alongside our characters. And I hope nothing bad ever happens to him.
I think he stays. I didn't look up spoilers, but from the cover art, I think he kind of is a long-standing character.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And if he does have the unfortunate demise, don't tell me.
Okay.
And if that day comes, I probably will cry.
Oh my God.
I just love him. He's like their little pet, but he's like vicious.
Oh my God.
He's growing into this big old little velociraptor. Like,
oh my God.
Listen.
Oh my God. So I also really like this book. I do agree that it's a change of pace. What I thought was interesting from like a writing style perspective is that one, I know that like you're not really nitpicky about writing style and stuff like that. I did think that the writing was more engaging, at least for me, for this book. Like I was really, it drew me in a lot sooner. So I was kind of shocked by the contrast. And then I did some more digging on Matt Dinniman, and Dungeon Crawler Carl wasn't even his like first self-published book. It was like his 10th. Like his first self-published book was like in 2003. So I'm like kind of like what was that shift in writing? And like how did that happen? And he was self-published for over a decade, I feel. So like I thought that was a really huge improvement, and I liked. And also in the other episode when we read the first book, one thing that I talked about a lot that kind of bothered me but wasn't that big of a deal was how the dungeon was described.
Yeah.
I was like struggling to like imagine it. And in the earlier pages in the book, they kind of do, I think, a better job of describing how things look around them when Princess Donut was like, oh my God, look, the sky, we're outside. And then Carl was like, no, it's like the mall sky in Vegas. And I was like, okay, like now I have an understanding of like why I thought it was like so much bigger than it was, because I think that's what he might have wanted to do. But like, because he's saying it's a dungeon, you have to kind of assume something. So there was like some tension there.
But this is different though, because this is like they're not in the.
They're on a different floor too, yeah.
So it is different in that sense.
Yeah,
but I understand what you're saying. It does describe it more. But I think this is more open world in a sense than the dungeon.
They are in the dungeon though. They're still in the
They
dungeon.
are, but I think this is a more open
Yeah,
expanse of
the
it
floor that they're on
versus
is a more
before
open.
it was more like
Yeah.
just a maze of hallways. So I do think it kind of lent itself to more descriptive and,
Mm,
you know, better
yeah.
thing. But
I felt
I do think you're right though. I will say even this book was even more engaging than the first one.
mhm.
So I do
Yeah.
think I don't know if it was the writing or what, but there was something about it that it was a very fast read for me.
Yeah.
Faster than the other one, and I don't know if maybe the other one just might have been a little longer than it needed to be, but I think this
Mhm.
it went by really fast.
Yeah. I agree. It was very easy to get like locked into it. Um, I also counted because I made a huge think about it about the word bulbous. It was only mentioned twice. And I was like,
After all that, just look. See, you just go looking for ways to hate. Let that
I was.
hate come to you. Don't seek it out.
Well, when it first came up, I was like, oh my God, I have to jot this down because I'm going to keep track. But it was only mentioned twice. So I was like, okay. He's like, he's settled down with it. Maybe he's gotten feedback. Maybe when he was like
I
self
mean, maybe.
publishing, people were like, hey, this is my feedback. He used the word bulbous way too long,
Yeah,
too
I
much.
mean, he must have evolved enough anyway, because over 10 years, it's like he got to a place now where he's got this book that's really resonating. So
And
he
it's
must
getting
be at least good
popular.
at taking some feedback.
Yeah. And also to your point, I really enjoyed the introduction of side quests. I felt like it added a really cool layer.
Yeah.
Although I will say, and I don't know if it's a critique or not. It probably will be, but I felt that because I understood why he did it. Because in actual video games, and I don't know, do you play video games?
Yeah, I mean, not anymore really, but I mean,
Right.
they
But
were,
like you're familiar with like
yeah.
so with side quests, like I understand that like there's like mini side quests in the side quest sometimes. So there's like extra characters and extra things that happen.
Yeah.
So I understand why that had to happen for the side quest here.
Yeah.
I felt though that there were parts where I just like got confused and I was like, I'm not really sure what's happening here. And I don't like that, but like I think that's just part of like this being a side quest, part of the side quest or whatever. And I think that not all of the side quest from a video game perspective translated as smoothly in
Yeah.
this medium.
I could see that. I could see that. I think, however it was, I think I might have been a little confused, but then by the end it made more sense. So it
Yeah, like
wasn't, at least wasn't, at least it got tied up. Like the,
yeah,
whatever
I think the
I was trying to figure
overall
out,
narrative,
yeah, it got there.
yeah, the overall narrative of a side quest, like it made sense, but it was
Yeah.
like the little stories in it that
Yeah.
like the first side quest, which I wanted to talk about
The
because
circus.
the signet person or whatever.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the circus. That's where.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Because
yeah. That was the
she,
first with the big top.
yeah, the circus and the signet, the first side quest, and because that's what they were called, right?
The
The
character, like
mystic,
yeah. I think so. I think you're right. It's been a
yeah,
while.
and yeah, same. I had to like reread like my notes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember this, but there was, and this is what I'm talking about with like the side story and stuff. The signet's like relationship with the ringleader, the
Oh yeah.
ringmaster of the circus, it
Hmm.
was like a very much a Woody Allen vibe. Like he raised her and then they were lovers and then now they were upset. And I was like, what are we doing?
I mean, I don't know that I really got that vibe, but I also think it's. I mean, it's a story about Carney, so I guess I just didn't really think it was like. I didn't really think
Because
about
she's
it
like
that
an
way,
elf.
huh?
She was an elf,
Yeah,
right? That
but I
like
mean, I
she's
think
half.
yeah, but I also think I guess because we're dealing with fantasy, I didn't really think of it in those terms of like Woody Allen type of thing, just because
Because
it's
Woody Allen's the guy who like married his daughter.
yeah, but I don't think yeah, but they weren't related. These guys, these in this story, I mean,
Right.
I know
They were
they're not, the
related.
ringleader and the Signet weren't related.
They were not.
No.
But was Woody Allen and his daughter related? Wasn't she adopted?
Yeah, but that's like,
Still fucked up.
but I was like, you're raised. I don't think it's like raising her in the same way. I guess I didn't
How
read
did
it
he
that
raise
way.
her then? Like, are you talking about like how circus people like
Yeah,
kind of
like I
members
just was
raise?
like, oh, this is like the circus. They're kind of a big family type of thing. I mean, yeah, I guess I could
Uh,
see it, but I also just didn't really put it together because it's if I'm thinking of a set of elves and whatever else that's made up, I guess I also my mind didn't jump there. So I guess I
well,
could see
I thought
that.
they said that they were lovers, which really concerned me.
What that's what I'm saying. Like I guess I didn't have that concern because there's already a bunch of like made up whatever, but I could see that. Sure, I don't know. I guess I just didn't have that reaction because I thought of it as like the circus being this family of freaks, carnies, whatever,
Yeah.
and so I didn't necessarily feel like I thought of it in that way. Maybe I should have. I
Mm.
don't know.
Yeah. 'Cause I don't know. Yeah. I thought it was like weird because she made it seem as though he raised her and like was like kind of a paternal figure,
Yeah,
um and then like they became lovers, and I was like,
yeah.
I'm not liking this. And also I didn't really understand the fallout. I didn't understand the fallout between her and the circus. That really confused me. I didn't really understand, like, I didn't understand what happened between her and the circus and what she was trying to accomplish, and then how it kind of like wrapped up because
I
they
think she was trying to lead, like she was trying to free them in some capacity, but it
from
just seemed
home.
like once you leave, you can't. You're now a traitor. I think because it became cursed. It wasn't always cursed.
Yes.
So it was like when the curse was put on it, I think she was trying to find a way to save
Right, because
it.
the bear, the circus bear was like in this curse and she was like miserable and wanted to
Right.
die.
But then
Right,
it
right,
was
right.
like I think it was because it somehow though once you left you were just labeled as this ultimate betrayer.
Got
And so
it.
I think that also was why the ringleader had so much rage was because of the lover being gone, and that's how I guess it ultimately was
His
broken
lover
by them
slash
being
daughter.
reunited. I mean I don't think you need to think of it as daughter literally, but like I don't know. I guess
I felt like they made a point to kind of mention the paternal aspect,
did
and
they say paternal or did you just like kind of input that?
I thought that they were genetically related
No,
because she's
that's
half elf.
definitely. I do not think they were genetically related. I do not remember that at
And she's
all.
only half elf and half, and I think half whatever the ringmaster is.
But I don't think that means they were related. I think that just
I
means
think
they were.
that is her dad.
I, I'm gonna have to look this up, but I don't think that's.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
feel like you
I
made
could
that
do a
up.
quick Google search.
I feel like you made that up.
I wrote it down specifically because I wanted to talk about it, and I was like, and maybe I misread because I
I
don't
mean,
really
I
know
don't
that.
know.
Um,
Maybe.
Carl
I don't know.
Day scenario, Signet. Maybe there would be a Reddit thread. Signet and what's that called? Ringmaster relationship. I'm sure if we had like a Reddit thread, if we like ever got really famous, I'm sure our
Yeah.
Reddit thread would be like popping. Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
Carl and romance. No, I don't know
I
what
feel
this
like it's
is.
not. I'm not seeing a lot on it, so I don't know if maybe other people
Yeah.
didn't.
Carl.
Someone, I'm gonna assume.
She's half Ned, half elf.
Yeah, she's half man, half elf, but not half
No.
ringleader.
Oh.
I can't see him writing that, but okay, maybe.
You know what? I think uh you're right. Okay, okay, okay. She's the byproduct of rape, it seems like.
Okay.
I think. And I think that's why Grimaldi, the circus ringmaster person,
Yeah.
kind of like raised her. I still do think it is.
But I don't think it's raised in the. I guess I feel like I didn't think of it in like a creepy predator sense. More like just took you into the family of the circus.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna choose to read it that way because that's like super dark, and I don't think the book is ever this. I don't think the book ever gets into themes like that, so maybe
I do tend to like think the worst of most things, so that could be true.
I'm only saying that because based on the other quest too, I can't imagine him writing that, but then writing a story about like saving prostitutes, like I can't imagine them being. Because then in the next quest, it's almost like you're freeing these tortured souls that were these discarded
sex workers.
Yeah, so I felt like if you could be positive about that, right? Like you're putting them in a light of we should respect this person. Why would we also have
incest?
But I'm not gonna say no because I don't know. But I'm gonna guess it's not that dark.
I think you have a point. I think I was reading into it in a very negative way. And to your point, I do look for things to hate.
See what I'm saying? You go looking for the hate.
I do. So I was probably like looking for it. Yeah, you're right. But I was very much enjoying the book.
I was gonna be like, how did I miss that? Oh my god! I'm just reading. I'm like, where's Mongo?
I felt like Donut was not in this book a lot, which kind of was upsetting to me. I felt like she was really not like, she didn't have as much like screen time as I liked.
I definitely think it was a chance to develop Carl more, because we get some of those flashbacks with him and B, and I think you get more insight into his usefulness for the team, which I'm guessing is just a setup for how they ultimately all will work together,
Yeah.
So I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was. I thought she still had a lot of comic relief. They go to the nightclub, and I don't think she was totally cast out. And I also think it was nice because it showed how much Carl really does love Donut. Like I think he had to save her.
For sure. I wasn't like upset in the way where I was like, oh, like this is a real critique, but it was in a way that like I'm a real big fan of Donut. I learned that Donut, she has her fan base is called the Princess Posse.
Okay.
So, and it's also crazy to me how like popular this series is becoming. Like I feel like we got in at like a crazy time of like, and all by happenstance. Like
I literally randomly picked this book. I was like, wow, I like these bright colors.
It's so crazy.
I'm like reading the synopsis. I'm like, this sounds fun. Had no idea we were stepping into such a world.
Yeah, there's like a huge fandom around it, and it's like getting bigger.
We can go to a con and see.
Absolutely not.
I've never been to a con, but
Me neither. You know what? If we get invited to do our show there,
cosplay.
You said what?
We don't have to dress up or anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I still kind of wouldn't want to be in that environment unless they invited us to do our show there. If they were like do an episode of Dungeon Crawler Carl,
you're gonna get booed because you like critique a lot.
I think they would enjoy my criticism. I don't think I'd get booed.
Garie doesn't really like this book. She's not really a fan.
Nerds love me. I have like. Did I tell you how like, when I went to the bookstore to buy that, and this is like a little side thing, but when I went to buy that Stephen King book, I told the guy at the bookstore, I was like, do you have like Stephen King's Carrie? And he's like, yeah, I actually have it right here. And I was like embarrassed because I like whispered Stephen King. I was like, you have Stephen King Carrie? And he was like, yeah. And he gives me the book. And then I was like, as I was getting rung up, I was like, just so you know, I really hate Stephen King, so I don't like want to read this book, but I feel like I can't.
You think you were talking to the man from Service? Like, did you think that the bookkeeper was John Tottenham because
And he was so like, I don't care.
that's what I'm like. Who did you think the bookseller was?
I was so embarrassed. I was like, just so you know, like I just need to like for me to hate on merit, I have to read the book. So like this is why I'm getting it. And he was like, okay. But I'm sure that was like a funny story he told his friends after.
Now, if you go to John Tottenham's bookshop, then yeah, you can get into a whole discourse about how Stephen King sucks.
I think he might like Stephen. Well, probably not. I don't
doubt
know.
it.
Yeah. Maybe his earlier works, which, you know, we'll get into that a different time. But back to the book. The side quest. And then I want to get into the second side quest, but I do want to talk about a few other things with the characters. Like Donut and Mongo, cool. I do appreciate Mongo's like growth. That was nice. And how he works with Carl. I thought that was a nice touch of like how he was able to team up and work collaboratively with Carl. I thought that was like a very nice, wholesome relationship development. And Mordecai being an alcoholic has been confusing for me.
I wondered if that that was part of the character. So like he's like the handsome devil, I think. He looks like the devil. But I think he said early on that part of when you have so much charisma, it like lowers your tolerance. And so he can only, so it's not even so much that he's just an alcoholic, but he can't like handle any alcohol. And it was sort of like Donut, how it was the same when they went to the nightclub. And he, like immediately gets so drunk. So I think that's partly like he wants
to, but like
he can't.
Donut doesn't like consistently drink. Like her getting smashed off of like one sip was like, oh, that's cute. Mordecai is like literally dabbling in substance abuse.
I mean, I'd probably be an alcoholic too if I was stuck in a dungeon for however many hundreds of years.
That's true. But it was just
also I think he was pissed because remember if they hadn't selected him to be their guide or whatever the name of their
I forgot what it was called.
If they hadn't picked him to be their manager, he could have already left.
Oh yeah.
Guys. So I think that was also part of it. He was just like pissed because he was like, I need to get to where I'm trying to go, and you guys just forced me to stay with you.
Yeah, that's true. But I was just like, oh my, this is like a bit over the top. Like he was like pissing his pants and like sleeping in his like vomit and stuff, and I was just like, all right, like.
I love how you like ascribe these like real world values to these characters.
As to what? Like, what am I supposed to do?
I don't know. I just feel like it's just funny because I'm like, that was the last thing I was thinking of. Is like
that he had a substance abuse problem.
I mean, he does, but I guess I just was like, whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I was like genuinely concerned because also it's like there's part of me that thinks that Mordecai might betray them later on because he's like more aloof.
No, I kind of don't think so because they made sure he survived. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like if he dies, it's because he sacrifices himself for them.
Oh,
like I don't know. I feel like he really likes them, even though he doesn't like try to show it.
See, I think I'm skeptical of him because they allude to Mordecai and Odette's relationship being like a lot deeper than either of them kind of put on, and I low-key think that they might be working together in like a nefarious way.
I don't know. I don't get that vibe, but maybe.
There's just like
I think I thought that, but I think there was something in the book where it just made it seem like if anything, I could see Odette, but that's why I think, if anything, I think Mordecai would end up giving his life to help them.
I think that's like TBD. And I really hope, and this will be a huge critique for me because I'm keeping track of all the things that like I want to hear more about. Like, I really hope he addresses like Agatha and Mordecai and Odette's like relationship. Like, not Agatha with Mordecai, but like separately. But like, what was that?
So I think they will, like in the next book, because they kind of briefly mentioned. Then they see Agatha, I think, or it was something like that.
They mentioned Agatha, like when
they mentioned her, so I figure in
Yeah.
the next book we'll get more of that kind of backstory into Odette, some of these other characters, just more of
Hmm.
the what are they doing, who are they? Because we
Yeah.
found
And
out
the
more about like the syndicate and how the show works, and that because pretty much the group that's running, I think they're like what bankrupt or something, like they really
yeah.
needed to work, and so it's interesting to see how Carl can. They kind of break the game in some ways to help themselves get further, and
Yeah.
how they did with the bomb, and then that guy
At the end.
that they ended up making like super strong inadvertently when
Which
they were
guy?
all running from that huge explosion from the second quest, and
The
he had
guy
to
who
like
like,
offload a bunch of spells, and
mhm.
they didn't think that guy was going to survive, but he ended up making it.
I don't recall
Oh, okay. Well,
what
you'll
happened.
know in the next book.
The husband.
No, I don't think it was just some. I think it was like some random guy, and it was like they were all running, but as things started to degrade, remember they like started losing clothes, anything that had powers.
Yeah.
So it was like that guy got hit with a whole bunch of spells,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That guy. Yeah, I know. I remember what
now
you're
with
talking
like
about.
some super ultra powerful like
Right. And that's why like the syndicate was like, yeah,
yeah
no one's getting treasures
yeah
because like,
they were like
just
no one
wasted all
else
his treasures and now he like has like he's like a mega fucking player.
right, and then it was
That was
right,
funny.
it was like created the most powerful fucking being in the game.
Yeah.
They're like he ain't gonna make it to the stairs, oh well. They're like oh shoot.
Yeah, that was so funny.
And that
And
guy's
that
gonna
guy,
be pissed because he's like you left me for dead.
that's facts. Because he was talking shit too, right? Like
Yeah,
he,
like you, yeah. And then it was funny too because it was like all the because yeah, the game was pissed too because they had to give all those awards. That's why they were
right.
like, yeah, we're not doing this shit anymore. This guy's like level 908.
I know. Yeah, that was funny. I will say like that whole side quest. I will say that the side quests were cool, and I like the introduction of them. And I get that like this already is like a long story, but I wish that side quest was shorter and there was a little bit more
Yeah,
like other fight scenes that were not a part of of a side. It was like two back to back side quests.
I would agree with
With
that one. I would agree with that, but that's only because I didn't love like the circus one. I found interesting lore
yes,
wise, and so I think the second one I didn't necessarily. I wasn't as engaged with the characters in the story. You like I didn't.
hmm,
I was like, I mean, okay. I don't really care about saving these people, but whatever. And so I think because I wasn't as interested in the whole
yeah.
lore of the quest, it wasn't as exciting. So I agree, it could have been shorter.
Hmm. And I thought like with the buildup of the circus, it was like I felt like I could imagine it a lot easier.
Yeah,
Like the sound of the circus from afar and all that stuff and
yeah,
how that can sound creepy. But
yeah,
with like the prostitutes like falling from the sky, I'm like, I don't even know where to
yeah.
begin.
And it just seemed like extra gory for no reason. And
Yeah,
I think too with the first one there was still that suspense of well, what is this? You know, it was kind of this is
right.
new to us. So I agree with that
Yeah.
assessment.
And yeah, it was just, and like, I also think like the bear, the
Yeah,
circus bear, like, it was all things that like were familiar. And I get the like whole prostitutes thing. Like, I just felt like it could have been workshopped a little bit and it could have been shorter. Or they could have made it like two separate
right.
side quests.
Yeah. I think
It
had
could
it
have been
been
three side
shorter, it
quests.
would have been fine. Because I
Yeah.
really didn't mind that the culmination was like this bomb and, you had them having to hurry up
Right.
and get to the floor, them helping to save the other players, whatever. I didn't
Yeah.
mind that, but I just think getting there was a little bit tedious.
Yeah. Like the second half of that quest, I was
Yeah.
locked in.
Right.
The first half,
Yes.
like the build up, I was
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck is happening?
And I
And
think
I
that
don't
they got
understand.
there quicker or maybe they
Yeah.
spent time on other things than I
Like
think.
they could have like fought a like a neighborhood boss or something. Like they could have done
Yeah.
so much in there to like I
Right.
think that could have been fun and engaging without the whole story because like I was like not following. There was like a pregnant elf in there that I was like, what is
That,
that
yeah,
about?
so I think that was like it ended up being some ancillary thing that helped them later with the getting whatever to do the quest, but it was a
Mhm.
lot of it felt like build up to where it wasn't necessary, I think. So
Yeah, I agree,
there's
100%.
a lot of extra in there.
Yeah, but I mean, I still enjoyed it nonetheless, and I thought it
Oh
was
yeah.
cool.
It wasn't like
Um,
so long that I'm like, okay. Like I kind
right,
of
and
made it feel fast to get through.
I also think at least too, it was broken up too. It wasn't just like them on the quest the
Right.
entire time, which I was like, okay, this makes up for this quest being so fucking long
Yeah.
because the fact that they went to like the nightclub and they did all this other stuff in between the
Mhm.
quest, I did appreciate that he like threw in other stuff, and
Yeah.
it did feel more like a video game to me. So like, I just wish the quest had like less narrative and it was like a shorter.
Yeah.
They got to the point because I just don't think it reads as well in this
Right.
medium to have like a long quest like that that's like
Yeah.
not clear.
Yeah, because you're
Um,
kind of waiting to get back to other things. So
mhm,
I like that too, that aspect of you kind of bounce around because you're right. It's like that's within the story. So you
mhm.
kind of want to get back to the story.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So then there was another thing that I was interested in hearing your take on it because it wasn't quite political commentary, but it because I don't think Matt Dinniman is political in these books so far
Right.
from what I read. I think he like acknowledges certain things that are going on, but like not in a way that like is a heavy-handed,
Right.
stroke of anything. But the interview where he starts like Carl starts crashing out about politics and the governing body. I forget who,
Yeah.
like which, whatever. And he was talking about how the people should speak up and fight back if they feel like it's not right. This book, especially, was published in 2021 during Trump's first term.
Hmm.
Did you like think anything of it, or were you just like, oh, because I thought it was like, oh, this is like kind of like a tasteful
Yeah.
commentary on like how politics is a conversation piece, but it's not like so over. It's not so overt where I'm just like, ugh, I don't want politics in my
Yeah.
book.
I don't know if I remember that and I remember thinking I kind of related it more to like I don't know if you've read Hunger Games or
Mm,
other books like that where that's a common theme of that rising up. So I kind of
mhm.
just likened it to that because I think you get that a lot in these books. But I could see if it was like a subtle commentary. If it was
Yeah,
very effective at being subtle. But I kind of
yeah,
related it to when you read some of these other books. I think it tends to be a lot in like young adult because I know Hunger Games or Divergent or Maze Runner type thing where it's like you need to rise up against the powerful elite or they're the reason that this is happening.
mhm,
That band together type of story.
yeah.
So I kind of made me think of that, but I could see that. I didn't think about when it was written.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, I kind of was thinking that as I like take notes and stuff, and I think you take more copious notes than I do. So like I try to do like research
I
so that
didn't
I
even
like
think. Yeah, I mean, I think that's an interesting thought. It very well could be.
yeah. I thought it was a tasteful commentary if it was supposed to be that. Like I thought it was
Yeah,
like more to elicit conversation and thoughts
yeah,
about like how where do you stand politically and why
yeah.
type of a thing because he made reference of like do you think that your government is
Right.
making life better for your future or your future children
Hmm.
and like how you should like stand up for that. So I thought that was cool. I thought it was tasteful.
Yeah.
Again, I really, really thought this book was so much more engaging than the first one. Not that the first one wasn't engaging, but it was just like I had a good time reading it and I thought it was like really well
Yeah.
done.
And I think too, sometimes when you're in a series, I think the second book tends to be a little bit better and easier to read because you already know some stuff. You have a
Right.
foundation. And so instead of trying to figure out what things are,
Yeah.
you're kind of like, okay, I have a
You kind of
baseline. So this is an opportunity to just get into the story and like get
that's
more
true.
answers. So, but it does still have to be well written to do that. I'm sure there are
Right, yeah.
many sequels that are terrible.
And I do like that, like the things that we talked about, kind of, especially the things that I complained about, were addressed
Yeah.
in this book. So I was like, okay, like this does get better.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know that I'm interested in reading any of his other books outside of this series, but I am curious to know like what the quality of writing was for his like first published book.
Yeah.
Just because of that. And I did like the is it the epilogue and
Yeah.
the
There's always like a little epilogue.
yeah, and there's an epilogue and then there's like another thing, right?
I don't know. I mean, I did read to the
Like
end,
part
but I thought it was
two,
just the. Oh, it's like
because
a
the epilogue,
bonus thing. You're right.
yeah, the bonus thing with the llamas.
Yes.
And I know you like the llamas, so like I wanted to know your thoughts about that.
I thought it was interesting, and I feel like I'm always interested to know like how this will all tie together, or like if it will overlap in any way.
Like I thought the ending was not memorable, but like also because I had to reread it before this,
Uh-huh.
before we got on, and I still forgot it. But like, um, I'm not mad at the fact that it's not memorable because I think they just ended by going on to the next floor, which is
Yeah,
probably what I
I think it's
assumed. Yeah,
more like read the next book.
right. But the llamas with like, I think they're gonna come back with like on a later floor, like stronger or something,
And that's what
right?
I'm interested to see, like what what happens.
What are they doing? Yeah, that's hilarious. Any other comments, thoughts
No,
so far?
I thought it was a good read. It was it was a nice change of pace from last month's book.
Oh my God. Yeah, Coverly
we
was
couldn't we couldn't go downhill from that one.
yeah, no, I was so it was like such a palate cleanser from reading that
Like
horrible
there's
book.
not a lot of books could be. It's hard. It would have been hard to read a worse book.
Yeah. What do you rate this?
I think I rated it a 4, and only because I like you, I kind of thought that second quest was a little long, kind of took me out of it. But other than that, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I also gave it a 4. Um, I felt like it improved substantially for me from a reading experience
Right.
perspective. And I had like no real major notes. It's actually funny with one of the books we've done. My friend read that book before and she thought that I would hate it because I hate most things. And I was like, no, I don't hate everything. I do like
I
stuff.
just love that that's everyone's initial reaction, like, "Oh, you're gonna hate it." Like,
I
you're gonna hate
know.
it. You probably won't like this.
Yeah, no. And it was just like, I will have critiques,
And you're
but
like, "Why does everyone think I hate everything?"
certified hater. So yeah, I give it 4 stars because yeah, I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun reading it. And I will say also I hate that it is a hardcover, but now I'm like locked in with hardcovers because now I don't want like some of my books to be soft covers and then some of them to be like hardcovers, like paperbacks and hardcover. Like so the rest of the series are going to be hardcovers. I will also say that since starting this podcast, I am less deterred from picking up books that are hardcovers.
I love that for
So,
you because
yeah,
you
so
might be missing out on the best book ever just simply because it
maybe
had a hardcover.
honestly,
I do think
that's a
they
good
should
point.
offer both, though, for people who have preferences. I think it's strange when they don't offer both.
So, what I've learned actually through a book that I recently read that I did not like is that there's resale value in different
Ah,
cover arts.
that
So
makes sense.
like if you have a hardcover and you keep the dust cover
Oh,
in good condition
yeah.
and it goes for resale,
Oh,
you could get like a lot of money for it.
okay.
So I think some people like the hardcover with the dust covers because it's easier to maintain the dust cover.
Gotcha.
And if you want to resell it, you could get like upwards of like a few $1,000s
Oh,
for a
wow.
book.
Well, you know what?
There's like rare books.
In a generation when this is like the cult classic and people are wanting to go back and read, we will have the collection.
Yeah, like literally. So I think it's cool that we have the hardcovers of these because maybe in like 20, 30 years, like these will go for sale and people will be looking for this specific cover art.
Yeah.
And we could have it for sale. And like, you know how like some bookstores have like rare books that are like super
Oh.
secluded and all that stuff. So like you could resell it to like a bookstore that maintains rare books. So something to consider. I didn't realize that. So
Well, there
I'm
you
more
go.
open to.
You need to get hard copies of Toni Morrison.
I've been looking at Toni Morrison like editions because I've been looking for a specific cover art for Sula,
Yeah.
and I have to like essentially like go on eBay and stuff to like look
Oh
for
wow.
it. Yeah, because they're like considered rare
Oh,
editions.
Lord.
So it's a whole thing. So it's like cool. It's a cool little subsect of the book
That'd be
literature
fun.
industry. Yeah. Um, I have okay, extra takes on stuff.
Oh,
Like
okay.
uh so Stephen King Carrie, right? I'm currently reading it, which I've mentioned a few times,
Yes.
but I think I am so far, I think I'm no longer a Stephen King hater. I'm not saying I like him.
You're neutral.
I think I'm more neutral now. I
Okay.
am intrigued by what the fuck happened to him as to like what made you so chaotic in this stage of your life to write books like the way you do.
That might
Because
require you to read a memoir.
which I might honestly, because he does have a memoir out.
You might have
Like,
to read the memoir to understand him.
I have to like low key. So after I finish Carrie, like I'm obviously not going to read back to back Stephen King because that's like too much. But I am intrigued with like I have to say I've never had so much fun reading a Stephen King novel. Like I'm
Good.
enjoying it. Like I'm like having like actual reactions to it, and it's like, and it's horror, and horror is not my genre anyway. Like
Yeah.
either, but the way he writes Carrie, first of all, again, from my understanding, this is like his debut
Hmm.
novel.
Yeah.
Carrie is a female protagonist, essentially. All of his characters nowadays are like, it's super homoerotic, it's very like male centered,
Yeah.
and like very like machismo and all this stuff. So I'm like, your first book is about a girl. He writes her kind of sympathetically. She's like, and the movie's different because she's overweight and it's like sad. Like he like
Yeah.
writes her in a way that's like so sympathetic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, like this is like actually good and like enjoyable. So I'm like so perplexed because like I'm like really questioning a lot about like my hatred for him, and now it's like a complicated relationship with Stephen King
Yeah.
because obviously I still hate his like
Yeah.
work that I've read. But I think based off of what I've read so far,
Yeah.
I don't know that I can consider myself a Stephen King hater.
Maybe it's like those artists where when they start off and they're kind of underground or just not, they don't have this huge mainstream fan base and people are vibing with the music. And then
Oh, like Dochi.
I was thinking like SZA, even
Mm.
because I don't know if
Okay,
you
yes.
listened to SZA before she went mainstream. It was just completely different, like
Yeah.
180. So then it's like
Hmm.
then maybe they become mainstream. You know, got a couple movies made, and now you're just like, I'm just gonna do what they want me. You know, I'm gonna do what the people want. And then
A
for
hundred
people like
percent.
you, you're like, what the fuck happened?
I think so. I think that might have been what happened because and now I'm super intrigued because every time I would like, obviously, I step on that soapbox of just like openly hating Stephen King as much as possible. So every single time I step on the soapbox, there's always some person who's like, "Have you tried reading his earlier work? Like, it's actually really good. Like everything like before the '90s were like really good books." So I was like, you know what? Let me start from the source. Let me start from the genesis. So I was like, what was the first book that Stephen King ever wrote? That's like what I wrote
Yeah,
into Google. And then I see Carrie, and I was like, from the movie, I loved that fucking movie.
yeah,
I saw it like almost 20 years ago, but like,
yeah.
love that movie.
It was a good
So
movie. It's a very
yeah, so
classic horror.
exactly. So I was like, I'm gonna go get this book. And so far, I'm absolutely fucking delighted and I'm like appalled.
Yeah. I truly think that happens so often to me with musicians, and it's like,
Mm,
I kind of hate that people like you now. I love that for you, but I also hate that for me.
yeah.
And it's like
So,
okay, but it's also I feel
and
sad
it,
because I know what they're capable of.
right. But I think I'm having like the opposite effect because like I started off with the things that like
It's just because you
what is
didn't know.
popular. Right.
You
But like
didn't
I
have
think
a
it's also
chance to
to
like
like him.
it,
I
and then
also
you
was
didn't
not
like it.
alive
Yeah,
when he was like writing
right.
the good stuff. So it's just interesting that I like started off having this like visceral hatred for him.
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
just
reading
never
this
knew.
book and I'm like, wow, this is very pleasant to me actually.
Yeah.
Well, that concludes this month's episode of Hot Takes Cold Brew. We'd love to hear your takes, whether that be about the books we read or errors or omissions we've made. So please share your thoughts in the comments and like and share or gatekeep. Please remember, if we get famous, the money will change us. For those at home who want to follow along, we will be reading. Hey friends, so I realized that I accidentally cut and deleted a part of the ending where I tell you what we read next. So I'm just gonna add it solo. Um, Next month we are reading Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. Happy reading.